I know you've been baby.
I wonder what celebrities will tweet RIP when it's announced that I'm dead on TMZ. Bury me with a million likes and put me in the algorithm like a million times. Across the table from my girl and don't look in the eyes. She's gotta compete with me looking at.
So I know that the last thing the internet needs is another video of an entrepreneur with a 52-step morning routine. However, this video is about the actual reality, and my reality right now is I am prioritizing and focusing on my health as well as my work, because there was a long period of time where I didn't, and it allowed things to get really out of balance. I put on like 30 pounds of inflammation last year, and now I'm reversing all of that. And that looks like prioritizing health, working with a health coach, taking a whole bunch of supplements, I don't know if you can see it, and really focusing on functional nutrition to get things back in balance. So I do start the mornings focusing on my health and having a little time for myself before diving into everything. I have two different types of businesses. So what we're gonna go through today is kind of what it looks like to run both, because they're both extremely different. And I have two businesses because they're both working toward different goals and they both achieve different goals. So I'm going to take you through the day and show you a little bit of both, explain the differences between the two. So after I finish my little electrolyte drink, we're going to go down to a little local cafe here in Malibu and build a new marketing funnel for one of them. Morning.
Want to hold that?
Yes, thank you. All right, we have a debate going on. How do you say this? Is it zinque or zinc?
Zinque.
Let me know in the comments. Want another coffee? I know you're up early when they're still getting all the chairs sorted.
Scroll, refresh, turn it off, yeah, now do it again, that's the dance now, scroll.
If you're still interested in doing this, grab your email, and then they send the email. Awesome, we sent over a link, and we want to make sure they both go through there, yeah? So basically what we're saying is when we actually collect the contact, where do we want to send it? Well, we need to add the contact and select the list that it's going to.
Sure.
So the list that we just set up. All right, just got back to the house because today is a day that I actually have a block of time on my calendar that I allocate toward doing MemberUp demo calls. Now, if you're not familiar, a demo call in software is just essentially a sales call where you're meeting with prospective customers, you're hearing what their needs are, you're showing them through the product, matching their needs to your solution, and ultimately, if it's a fit for them, selling them on the product. So you might be wondering, why do you do that yourself? And there's a couple of different reasons. First reason is that I never want to set up a team or a process that isn't going to be something that is long-term. So this pricing strategy that we have right now is not going to be something that we maintain long-term. We started with no free trial, annual only for very specific reasons. And long-term, that's not going to continue that way. So sales calls and demo calls have been something that have helped that pricing model succeed right now. But like I said, long-term, they're going away. So I'd never want to hire people or set up systems when something's ultimately not going to continue. Second reason is one of the most valuable things that you can do as a founder is talk to your customers. And I think so many founders are so quick to outsource sales, and it's an incredibly valuable opportunity for you to actually just hear exactly what customers want, because your product only exists to solve those problems. And the more you're speaking to customers and understanding what their problems are, the more you understand the messaging that you can use to connect your product with their needs. And also the more you can tailor the product to actually solving those problems. And if you look at the revenue per hour that you actually bring in, sales calls have always been one of the highest revenue producing things that I can actually do in the business, strategy and sales calls. So I am definitely not someone that's quick to outsource sales calls, because I know that short term they produce revenue, and long term they ultimately end up producing more value in the business because you're learning such valuable things from your customers. I also think it goes a really long way when the founder themselves actually gets on a call to speak with you, which is why the close rate of the founder themselves is generally a lot higher. And the last reason is I have typically been very, very good at organic marketing, and sales hasn't necessarily been a strength. It's never a skill set that I've really had to learn before this year. And so this year I really wanted to master sales. And I think that you master anything through just reps and reps and reps. And so I've done a lot of reps this year, and it's something that I've gotten extremely comfortable with. And I think that it's one of the most high value skills that you can ever learn, is how to feel comfortable and also how to navigate sales conversations successfully to ultimately get both people to a result that they want. So that's what we got on the docket now. I'm going to record the call so that you can kind of get a little bit of a sense of the different structures of the calls. Most sales calls, you just start with building rapport. Then you start by discovery. So just understanding what the customer's needs are. Then you walk them through the software and you help match that solution that you have to their needs. And then at the end, you make an offer and you close. So that's what we're going to dive into for the next couple of hours. I'm going to record some so that you can actually see behind the scenes, because I wish that I would have actually been able to see behind the scenes of sales calls before I actually did some. MemberUp demo calls are about 30 minutes each, really quick. Let's dive in. My name's Amy. I'm the CEO and co-founder of the platform. And I like to do these calls because we want to understand our customers even better and really how we can deeply serve them. So this is about 30 minutes that we have together. And I want to hear a little bit about, I've already looked at your notes, but I want to hear a little bit more about what you're building or have built, what you're looking for in a platform. And then I can give you a little tour of the platform with that in mind. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure. So should I kick off?
Yes, please.
I've been running my consultancy since 2016. Really easy to navigate.
Yeah, exactly. We wanted it to be simple, beautiful, and easy. That's what I think. There are other platforms that have done simple well, but they haven't done simple and beautiful well. So we wanted to really combine the two.
There's simple, then there's basic.
Exactly. In terms of fit, do you feel like it's a platform that's going to support what you need right now?
I think so. Yeah, I do.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
How did you find MemberUp?
Through an extensive search. We're looking for a luxe feel, like a branded feel that matches our website. We just to just look different and stand out.
Yeah.
Mighty Networks looks kind of the same everywhere you look, and you can't do a lot of customization there.
Okay, so first thing that I'll share, you're speaking our language in terms of a luxe, beautiful branded experience. All right, now that that's done, I'm just about to jump on a call with the incredible team behind our education business. I have two different products in that business. So I have a coaching program for online business owners to help them with marketing, sales, operations, all the things that people struggle with when they're new. And then secondly, I have a finance community where I teach personal finance and investing, the two things that have changed my life. And I think it's interesting because, you know, online courses, coaching programs, memberships, etc., online education in general, in many ways gets a bad rap. And I think that is wild because that is so clearly where the future is going. If you think about the fact that the traditional model is to pay a college hundreds of thousands of dollars in some cases and 4+ years of your life going into debt to learn a skill that can ultimately one day start producing you income. And you contrast that to the fact that nowadays you have online education programs that can teach you how to start earning income or whatever skill it is in, you know, a matter of 90 days, 6 months, a year, whatever that might be, for far less of a price tag. Now, from a business owner perspective, it is so incredibly hard to compete with digital product and online education businesses because they have such high profit margins. This business earns over 100K a month profit, and it's only been live for 10 months now. It's an incredibly simple business model that we run with an incredibly lean team. And I say it's incredibly simple because we've consciously decided to make it simple. Now, obviously with online education businesses, you can really overcomplicate them if you want to. You can have newsletters and podcasts and 15 different products and, you know, sales teams and upsells and downsells and like all different things going on if you want to. However, for me, my main objective is growing MemberUp. And so I want to make sure that the education business, number one, supports MemberUp, which it does because we're supporting online business owners, the demographic of people who actually use MemberUp. We run that business on MemberUp, so it's more exposure for people actually to come and see the platform and ultimately end up using it themselves. And I need the majority of my time to go toward MemberUp. So we intentionally decide to keep it incredibly simple. We have one simple offer, one simple marketing funnel, one simple marketing channel for it. We don't do launches, we don't overcomplicate it, and it's made it incredibly easy to run, optimize, and scale. Now, one of the main metrics that you want to think about in a software business is churn, meaning people leaving the platform. And in a platform like MemberUp, where you can host your online business on MemberUp, Obviously, the more successful the business owners are, the more likely they are to actually stay. So it just makes so much sense for us to run this because number one, we help students get incredible results. They are so much more successful in their business when they actually have support and coaching alongside it. Number two, it's an incredibly easy business model with high cash flow, high profit. And number three, over the last 14 years in running my own online education businesses and going into other people's companies and helping them grow theirs, I've developed a deep understanding and also a love for all of the elements that go into making an online education business successful. Personal branding, organic content, paid media, copywriting, funnel building, sales, marketing, systems, building those products, like all of the elements that go into making an online education business successful are the ones that I really enjoy doing as well. And apart from all of that, online education changed my life. It wasn't traditional education. It wasn't the finance degree that changed my life. It was everything I learned from other people who had paved the way for me. I mean, name another opportunity where you can learn a skill and in that same year, you can go on to make $1 million with that skill. College cannot compete with that, but that's what our student Mel just did this year, learning online business skills. So I just can't see a future where people continue to opt for a less valuable alternative, and that's why I'm all in on online education. But that said, here's some behind the scenes of our meeting. Brooke, meet Megan. Megan, meet Brooke. Meet Anna. Hi. The way I see a really good company, it's a vehicle. It's a vehicle for our students to grow and achieve their goals through, first and foremost. Then it's a vehicle for our team to grow and achieve their goals through. And then for us, lastly, to grow and achieve our goals through. So I wanted to put together just a little bit of detail about how I think we can continue to grow because all of us have massive goals. That's one of the best things about this team is everyone's so growth oriented. So I just wanted to put this together to talk about, okay, what's that next stage of growth look like now that we've kind of found our footing, we settled into a rhythm, how can we grow beyond that point?
Organic side of things, or we're reigniting them from old ones, Christy?
After this call, I can go through and like just screenshot and send a whole bunch of lists of what ChatGPT has said.
All right, I just got my nails done, even though it doesn't look like it because I get the exact same thing every single time. I get this nude ombre situation because I don't really suit like red nails or anything like that. And I have a phenomenal lady that comes out to my house to do it because I cannot stand wasting time in the nail salon. I'll put her details on the screen in case anyone's in LA wants to use her. She is phenomenal. All right, now we're headed into a meeting with the dev team and switching gears. So I know I said online education businesses are really, really simple and easy, and software is the opposite. Software has a lot of different complexities to be mindful of. And I think one of the most challenging things in software is that it is definitely more of a game of patience because you can't just hustle and build something quickly if you also want quality. And so it's always a constant juggling act of wanting to ship new features because you want to keep users engaged, you want to show your momentum, but at the same time, you also want that to be really good quality. You want to be able to spend the time to really refine them because there's so much thought and planning that actually goes into building a great product. And I think one of the most challenging things with MemberUp lately has been that normally in a software business, you are shipping features like every couple of weeks, you're keeping the momentum high. But since we actually made the decision to basically, I don't want to say rebuild the product, but release V2 of the product, where all of the different features that we're releasing are so interconnected that we can't actually ship like regular releases like we normally would because they're all dependent upon one another. So when we do our next big release, it's going to be huge. It's going to feel like an entirely different platform. But in the lead up to that, it probably felt like not a lot of momentum externally, but internally, we're like rebuilding the entire product. So patience is not a quality that I naturally possess, but one that I've learned through getting into software. And one of the constant questions that we're asking ourselves is, can we reduce the scope of the project in any way so that we can actually ship it sooner and then add things on after the fact? So in this meeting, we're going to basically be revisiting the roadmap, see if there's been any scope creep where we've added on additional scope. It happens all the time. See if we can kind of pull that back so that we can ship a quality product sooner. I think the goal for this meeting would just be, number one, to sync up, touch base. It's great to see you guys. But then number two, if there is a way that we can reduce scope on anything to get it out sooner and still deliver a product that is fantastic, that's kind of the goal. If we can find that.
The thing that we can leave out is the feed components, just kind of let them be the way they are.
Yeah.
We can change the colors so that they still look good, but they are very, very complex.
Is that because they're built using MUI?
It's going to be so great when we get that switched over and we don't have a back end anymore.
Oh my gosh, I know. To sell someone into an annual software with no free trial, no
it's
monthly.
very hard.
It's very hard, and thankfully, like, we've been doing a good job of that. But
that was a good decision, I think, pushing.
No, but you are doing a great job because.
I mean, once it's out, It's great because then we can just launch little feature, like small releases. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah. It can be a release per week with something new,
But thanks so much for your time and for all of your effort. And if we can support you, you just let us know in Slack. Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Bye.
You too.
I find that whenever I go for walks with Amy Sangster, she ends up 5 paces behind me.
It's because you don't wait for me.
No, you just walk too slow.
This will be a forever debate that we have. So this is one of my favorite parts of the day, going for this glorious walk to the beach, the red mountains and the sunset. I think this is probably the place in Malibu that makes me appreciate it the most. It is pretty spectacular. I don't know if you can really grasp it on camera, but it's amazing here. We're actually just talking about what it's like to work with your partner, which I know is a hotly debated topic. Some people are really for it. Some people are really not for it, and figured we'd share our perspective. Obviously, given that we work together, our perspective is it's a good thing, but I think both have pros and cons, where if you are not working with your partner, basically every single day you're on different missions, and it's not that there's anything wrong with that, but those missions could lead you in separate directions. And for me, I have typically liked to build my mission with my person, if possible, because then we're both kind of building an empire together. And I think for me, that's what I really, really enjoy. But it definitely requires you to do a lot of therapy and master communication. Lots of therapy. What will you think? What do you think is the best and the worst thing about working?
I mean, I watched
with
my
a
parents
partner?
and my grandparents work together, so it feels normal. But I think the worst part is that if there's a problem in work, it feels like a problem in the relationship, which is kind of stupid, but I feel like
Only for a moment, though.
We've gotten better at
Yeah.
that. And I think the best part is everything you said, is that you get to build something together, you definitely grow, and you have each other to hold each other accountable, which makes you a better person.
I think that's what a good relationship is that you make each other better. It's not always comfortable, but it's growth.
True that.
So we like it. So today was a good day. And I say that with a smile because startup founders will know that you will have incredible days where you're killing it, where you and your team are so hyped up, where you see clearly where you're going and everything feels like it's just unfolding for you. On the contrary, you're gonna have days that challenge the hell out of you, that make you question why you began, that make you question yourself, that make you wanna stay in bed all day. And it's kind of cool because oftentimes when you have one of those really challenging days, I just remind myself that the really good days are coming. And generally it's like the very next day, something amazing happens. So I try not to let myself buy into the challenging emotions when they're there, because I know that that's just the duality of life. We can't experience all the positive if we don't also have those moments of extreme challenge. It wouldn't be as meaningful when we are winning if we didn't also have those moments. So even in the challenging times, I try not to let it affect me. But today, as I sit here just reflecting, something I'm really trying to get better at is taking pauses on the journey, despite being incredibly motivated to get where we're going, to also appreciate how far we've come. Because that is a skill set that I do not naturally possess, and I have to remind myself to do it. And tonight, as I sit here, I'm so incredibly grateful because today was one of the amazing days. Today we signed 2 brand new partners to the MemberUp movement who are phenomenal women in our space who I'm so excited to announce and share with you very soon. And I couldn't be more grateful for their excitement about the platform and what we're building and the movement that we're building, but also so grateful for their trust in us. And I think it's kind of the first domino of many, and it's a really freaking good day. And so I'm just kind of sitting here basking in it for a moment before we get back to it tomorrow. But if you're also like me and you struggle to celebrate on the way to all of the big goals that you have, then this is your reminder to just take a breath for a minute and just appreciate how far you've come. I guarantee you that where you are right now is probably where you dreamed of being a couple of years ago. So don't let your big goals cloud your appreciation for this moment right now, because none other are actually guaranteed. And losing my partner to cancer so early, that really taught me that no future is guaranteed at all. So while I have massive goals and I'm so excited to get there and I can get antsy at times on the journey, I always like to bring myself back to the present and just appreciate how far we've come as well. So this is your reminder. But for now, I'm going to turn this off and enjoy this beautiful beach that I get to call my front yard. Very grateful today.